Concerning news coming in from the national capital, we are learning that 9 people have died and several injured after a huge fire broke out at a 4-story building in Delhi's Vivek Vihar early morning today. Vivek Vihar is a prime location in East Delhi. Have a look at the visuals on your screen. The fire broke out, we are learning, on the second floor of the building. The incident took place around 4 a.m., after which 14 fire engines were rushed to the spot to put out the fire and carry out the rescue operation as well. At this point in time, we are learning that more than 10 people were rescued. Let me take you through the statement of the Delhi police as well. We're learning that during the initial inquiry, it was found that 9 people have lost their life. 12 fire tenders were at the spot with the DDMA staff, traffic official and the local police as well. The fire, we're learning, was brought under control at 6 a.m. So the fire started at around 3:13 a.m. in the morning. The fire tenders arrived at the spot at around 3:35. Now, this is what the eyewitnesses have said, and it was doused by 6 a.m. in the morning, and all the injured people, they have been taken to a nearby hospital for the treatment. The cause of the fire is yet not known, but an eyewitness there has said that the blast in the AC triggered this fire. Around 12 to 15 people were rescued. However, he has said, one of the eyewitnesses and the local of that area has said that 4 to 5 people are still missing. The fire started around 3:13 a.m. The fire tender arrived at around 3:35 a.m. and it was doused by 6 o'clock in the morning. And here are the visuals on your screen in which you can see, in fact, massive fire there at the spot. And this is Delhi's Vivek Vihar area is what we're learning so far. Very concerning news coming in from the national capital. All right, so we're learning that 9 people have died and several injured after a huge fire broke out at a 4-story building in Delhi's Vivek Vihar area. Have a look at the visuals on your screen. In fact, the fire broke out on the second floor of the building that you can see. It took place around 3:13 a.m. in the morning, after which 14 fire engines were rushed to the spot to put out the fire and carry out the rescue operation. At this point in time, we're learning that the cooling operation is underway because the fire has been doused. More than 10 people were rescued from this particular area. There were 25 people in that particular flat, and they were rescued. 9 of them, they have lost their life. Let me take you through the statement that is coming from Delhi police. They have said that during the initial inquiry, it has been found that 9 persons have lost their life in the said fire incident. Fire was found in the flat situated on the 2nd, 3rd and the 4th floor. During the rescue operation, 10 people were rescued from the building, out of which 2 people have sustained minor injuries and they were shifted to a nearby hospital. All right, let me show you more visuals coming in from inside the building, and this shows you really the impact of the fire there as far as this entire building is concerned. Everything has been charred. In fact, these are the visuals recorded by, it appears that the fire tenders and the firefighting officials that are there at the spot. And this really goes on to show you how in fact, the impact of the fire there at this spot. As we told you, a statement has also come in from the Delhi police saying that 12 fire tenders were rushed to the spot. There were traffic officers, local police as well, and the fire was brought under control by 6 a.m. But the reason behind this has yet not been clarified by the police, but the eyewitnesses are saying that this was possibly because of the AC blast there at around 3:13 a.m. at night. All right, so these are the visuals on your screen. Let me also go across to my colleague Dave, who's been tracking all the details and who's there on the ground. Dave, we are learning so far that 25 people were there in that building. Have they all been rescued? Take us through what you can see there on the ground. Get us the ground updates.
Not all have been rescued. Some have been rescued. Some even suffered minor injuries. But right now, as per the latest update, there have been 9 casualties, 9 deaths in this case. You can see this very building. It was extremely difficult for the fire brigade authorities to even reach up and rescue them. If I can ask my camera person to show you the side of the building, you can see it is entirely gutted, and because of the narrow lanes, it was also becoming slightly difficult for the fire services van and the ambulances to reach inside. At this point in time, there are wailing relatives. Extremely unfortunate incident and an event. And also, once again, if I can ask Anil to show you that the pipes have been elevated into the balcony. You can see the balcony areas of the 2nd, 3rd and 4th floor entirely gutted. The roof is also black and sort of charred, which will give you a sense and an idea of how bad this fire was. However, it it took the Delhi Fire Services officials nearly 3 hours to make their way through that gutted balcony on the side that you see. This very narrow lane, also in congested area of Vivek Vihar Phase 1, which is where, as per the jurisdiction, the police had received the first call in the wee hours of morning. This took place between Saturday and Sunday. Several anxious relatives still trying to find out and get to know about the whereabouts of their relatives, whether they are alive or deceased. But however, a few minutes back we also showed visuals. You can see several local residents and relatives out here anticipating just as to and hoping that their relatives are still alive. While the bodies are currently being brought out at this point in time, we can expect a few more deceased persons to be brought out. You can see there's an ambulance out here. Delhi Fire Services, Delhi Police, the DDMA, the Disaster Management Authority officials also out here on the spot, working extremely hard to help out. You can see into the second floor balcony, a ladder has also been placed out there to allow. You can see that a dead body is being brought out. One of the deceased who has lost their lives in this incident. Extremely unfortunate. You can see that out here lots of relatives even anticipating and hoping that their relative is alive, but this dead body that you just saw definitely in a lifeless state is anything but alive at this point in time. The bodies have been taken to Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital. However, a few of them even suffered minor injuries. About 3 to 4 bodies were found in the staircase area as well. So you can really imagine that what a difficult time it is for this family, not even knowing where their relatives are at this point in time. Some of them wailing, crying, not knowing what sense to make of this incident that has taken place in the wee hours of Sunday morning.
Absolutely. So this is what we know so far. At this point in time, we're learning that 9 people have lost theirs. Witnesses are saying that the cause of fire could be the AC blast. Do we have any confirmation on that? Has Delhi police said anything on that?
Ready to confirm on this point in time, because the priority is to rescue those who have been trapped inside and at least retrieve the dead bodies that are still out there on the stairs and other areas of the building. However, it is too early to speculate or engage in any kind of guesswork, but what is the common thing which we all know is that during summertime these kind of incidents are on a rise, and of course due to short circuits or any any dysfunctional options inside the electrical system could also be the leading cause of fire. But however, there are several volunteers out here. Like I said, at this point in time, nobody wants to engage in any kind of guesswork, because the priority is to take care of the relatives and those who have been stuck inside. It is this very building out here. You can see this yellow police line that has been placed out here, and once again, if I can show you that the charred roof on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th floor inside the balcony, if this itself looks so bad, then one can only imagine what must have taken place. Once again, if I can ask Amil to show you that this structure is entirely gutted, plastic sheets, tarpaulin sheets, wooden structures, so many things inside the balcony. You can also see rods and iron beams that are jutting out of this balcony. However, this unfortunate incident has so far claimed 9 lives, and the bodies are being taken, and those who are recuperating along with minor injuries at the government-run Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital. 12 fire tenders of the Delhi Fire Services that were rushed to the spot, but however, because it is a narrow congested area, that also took a slight amount of time, while the Delhi Fire Services, after reaching this very spot to get inside that place where I'm pointing out, they took nearly 3 hours to get inside, because it was a massive challenge to douse the flames and try and even enter inside the house in the first place.
Ladders had to be put in to bring out the people, and that is what we are showing to you in the visuals on your screen. How people were brought out of the building late at night yesterday, but unfortunately we're learning that 9 people have lost their lives. Several others were rushed to the hospital. Could you please speak to the eyewitnesses there, the locals there, to know what really happened there last night, because many of them are witnesses to all this. They're saying that 3:13 is the time when the fire broke out. The fire tenders arrived at the spot around 20 minutes later. Could you please speak to them?
Well, yes, absolutely. सर, क्या हम आपसे 1 मिनट बात कर सकते हैं? सर, घटना के बारे में थोड़ा पूछना चाहेंगे. आप कितने बजे से आपकी टीम यहाँ पर मौजूद है और घटना के बारे में थोड़ा कुछ बताइए.
We are here since 6:30 in the morning, and we got a call from the SHO staff here. We are from शहीद भगत सिंह से अदल, the NGO जितेंद्र सिंह शंटी जी की जो है, मंजीत कौर शंटी जी हमारी प्रेसिडेंट है, और बहुत ही बुरा हाल था. When we came in here, झुलस रहा था पूरा. फायर ब्रिगेड was here, but 3rd and 4th फ्लोर खत्म था और 1st 2nd ठीक था. काफी लोग बचे भी है नीचे, बट तकरीबन 9 बॉडीज अभी ऊपर मिली और चिपकी हुई थी जमीन से नीचे. तो वी हैड टू गो, पूरा निकाल के पैक किया डेड बॉडी.
जमीन से चिपक गई.
हाँ, चिपकी हुई थी और बिल्कुल सुकड़ गई. यू कैन नॉट आइडेंटिफाई बेसिकली कि क्या है, बच्चा है, नर है, मादा है. कोई कह रहा था डॉग है. दैट्स व्हाट द पुलिस वाज सेइंग इनिशियली, बट देन नाउ इट्स एज ऑफ नाउ इट्स कंफर्म्ड देयर 9 डेड बॉडीज. हमारी एम्बुलेंसेज यहाँ हैं 10 शहीद भगत सिंह से अदल की. हमने 4 बॉडीज अभी उतारी, 5 वी आर वेटिंग. तो जैसे वो बोलेंगे तो हम जीटीबी मॉर्चरी लेके जाएंगे.
जैसे कि आपने बताया कि यू आर स्टिल अवेटिंग 5 more bodies to be retrieved. सर, आपसे समझना चाहेंगे, बिकॉज यू हैव बीन ऑन द स्पॉट. सर, व्हाट आर द चैलेंजेस? वी सी 1 more body being brought out. It is the body of a minor, of a child that is brought out. You can see. Sir, what kind of challenges did the fire brigade officials face, because you have been seeing them very close?
सर, इट्स बीन वेरी डिफिकल्ट. सी, एक तो आग तो थी, बट जो लोकल चैलेंजेस ये थे कि एक तो शीशा पूरा ऑल ओवर, तो कहीं हमारे रेस्क्यूज के भी हाथ कट गए, पैर कट गए. जैसे आप देखो, मैं भी चप्पल में हूँ. अब इनिशियल सुबह आप ऐसे ही भाग के आ जाओगे ना, और फायर ब्रिगेड के पास गम बूट्स थे. वी डिड नॉट हैव, वी हैड टू कम इमीडिएटली. फिर छत गिर रही थी. अभी एक रेस्क्यूअर के भी हमारे छत लगी ऊपर से, बिकॉज पीओपी बहुत ज्यादा है अंदर, लकड़ी बहुत ज्यादा है, सब जल चुका था.
अभी भी बेसिकली वो जो मेल्ट हो रही है, कुछ चीजें गिरने की पॉसिबिलिटी है.
इट्स स्टिल फॉलिंग. अगर आप अभी ऊपर जाएंगे तो बहुत भपका है, बहुत गर्मी है, पानी गर्म है, ठीक है. और अगर आप ऊपर जाएंगे तो गिरना स्टार्ट हो चुका है. तो 3-4 के तो इंजर्ड भी हो चुके हैं.
ओके, right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your services. Like you heard the gentleman speak to us, he and his team have been on the ground since 6:30 a.m. and several parts of the houses have been burnt. They've melted and they're still falling on the rescuers. In fact, some of the glass shards have also cut through the rescuers. They have suffered minor injuries as well in this entire process of rescuing people, in which you saw that recently, barely few seconds ago, a minor was also brought out of this, and I think nearly about 3 to 4 more bodies are still yet left to be retrieved from inside. Like the gentleman pointed out to us and clearly told us that the bodies are in such a charred state that they cannot even be identified, and in fact they have to be pulled from the ground because they have melted and stuck to the ground. So that is some very horrific and disturbing visuals, come to think of it. But this incident definitely has sent shockwaves, and also while the police also try to understand and determine the exact reason, the priority at this point in time remains to retrieve all the bodies out here and put an end to this fire, because he said that inside it is still like a furnace. Things are still burning. So you can really imagine that the melting structures can fall on people, and in fact they've even fallen on rescuers. Some of them have been injured by the glass shards as well. But once again, you can see what a distraught sight this is. These are the wailing relatives. If I can ask my camera person to show you, our viewers can get a sense and an understanding in terms of the massive tragedy that has unfolded on Sunday morning, early hours, in which 9 people so far have lost their lives.
Absolutely. It is, in fact, extremely painful to watch this. We are learning that 25 people were there in that building. 9 of them have lost their life, and there are several injured who were rushed to the hospital after a huge fire broke out at the 4-story building that you can see on the screen in Delhi's Vivek Vihar early morning today. It broke out at around 3:15 a.m. is what we are learning so far. Several of the fire tenders were rushed to the spot. 20 minutes later, the firefighting operation started, which lasted till 6 a.m. is what the eyewitnesses are saying so far. In fact, we're learning that the rescue operation is currently underway, and in fact, the cooling operations are also being conducted at that point. In fact, let me once again go back to my colleague Dev on this. Dev, tell us more about this locality, because this is a very prime area, a very posh locality there in the national capital. This is in East Delhi. Vivek Vihar is quite a prime location there. Tell us more about where it is and what you can see on the ground right now.
Where this has exactly taken place is falls within the limits and the jurisdiction of Vivek Vihar Phase 1 out here. And this is the narrow lane where that person is standing. From there until where I am standing is actually the width. That's how narrow it is. So you can really understand in terms of the challenges that the fire brigade vehicles also face in getting inside this compound at this point in time. But however, you can see the latest visuals that another fire ladder has been brought out, somewhere signaling the end of rescue works. Of course, rescue was on from the other building as well. If I can ask my camera person Amil to show you, there's another adjoining ladder, so you can really understand the challenges that the firefighters face, that they had to go through another building because the building that they were supposed to carry out rescue in was actually fire. So these are the kind of details that we have at this point in time. But at least I think another 3 more bodies are yet to be brought out. 2 were brought out within the last 10 minutes. So the fire officials are also trying to reach every spot that is possible to see if bodies are stuck or not, or if anyone can be saved at all. However, like I said, that it's a massive blaze. You can understand the impact and the intensity because 12 fire tenders have been brought here, over half a dozen ambulances. So this really signals and shows that what kind of an incident it was. However, you can still see that there are several people still inside. We will also try and speak to a few people to understand the exact cause of this incident and what kind of work is being carried out. सर, क्या आपसे 2 मिनट बात कर सकते हैं? सर, हम समझना चाहेंगे, आप सुबह से यहाँ पर इस स्पॉट पर मौजूद है, तो सर क्या तरह की दिक्कतें आई? There you can see yet another body being brought out. We don't know whether it's a child or an adult yet, but also we will try and speak to a local leader and a politician out here. सर, मैं आपसे समझना चाहूँगा कि किस तरह की दिक्कतें हो रही है फायर फाइटर्स को अंदर घुसने में. उनको तकरीबन 2.5 से 3 घंटे लग गए थे अंदर घुसने के लिए उस दौरान.
देखिए, मैं इस क्षेत्र का निगम पार्षद हूँ. मुझे लगभग 7 बजे की कॉल आया ऐसे कि यहाँ आग लग गई थी और कोई काफ़ी दिक्कत हो गई है. तो 7 बजे के 5 मिनट में यहीं था. आते ही मैं ऊपर गया तो ऊपर देखा बैक साइड में इसमें टोटल 800 गज की बिल्डिंग है. 8 फ्लोर बने हुए हैं, 4 फ्रंट पे 4 बैक्स पे. जो बैक साइड पे 2nd फ्लोर 3rd फ्लोर है, ग्राउंड 1st 2nd 3rd. 2nd जो फ्लोर है उसमें 5 बॉडियां मिलेंगी और एक बॉडी मतलब एक बच्चा था जिसने इसकी माँ ही होगी लगभग, ने ऐसे पकड़ा हुआ था तो वो जली हुई थी. इस कंडीशंस में थी कि आप बता नहीं सकते लेडीज है या जेंट्स है. 5 बॉडी इस कंडीशंस में थी और एक बॉडी साइड उधर दूसरे पड़ पड़ी थी. और टॉप में 3 बॉडी मिली छत पे जो कि 3rd फ्लोर वाले की थी. उन्होंने निकलने की, भागने की, बचने की कोशिश की, लेकिन ऊपर का ना दरवाजा बंद था, लॉक लगा हुआ था, ताला लगा हुआ था. अगर वो ताला खुला होता तो मैं समझता हूँ वो लोग बाहर निकल जाते तो बच जाते. टोटल 2 फैमिलीज के लोग हैं. एक नितिन नाम बताया जा रहा है, एक जैन साहब से बताया जा रहा है. तो टोटल 9 लोग कैजुअल्टी हुई है और बाकी कोई कैजुअल्टी भी इसी बताई नहीं जा रही है. लगभग पूरी जस्टिफाई कर लिया गया है कि टोटल 9 बॉडी हैं, टोटल 9 लोग हैं, 2 फैमिली के लोग हैं.
तो इसमें बताया जा रहा है कि कुछ लोग घुटन से मर गए और कुछ लोग आपकी बॉडी.
एक बॉडी तो मैंने देखा कि वो बेड पे ही लेटी हुई थी और बेड के मतलब उनकी आंख ही नहीं खुली. मैं समझता हूँ धुएं से इतने वो हो गया होगा कि वो आंख नहीं खुली और वहीं से मिलने लगी. लेकिन एक बहुत हादसा देखा मैंने, जो एक बच्चे को माँ ये 100% वो ऐसे लेके, बच्चे को 1.5 साल का बच्चा था, वो लेके पूरी इस कंडीशन में थी कि आप बता नहीं सकते कि लेडीज भी है क्या. ये कंडीशन थी.
सर, आपसे आखिरी चीज पूछना चाहेंगे सर, फायर फाइटर्स अभी भी दिक्कतों का सामना करते हुए, कोई सीढ़ी से कोई पाइप ऊपर ले रहा है, तो क्या कहना चाहेंगे सर?
देखिए, धन्यवाद करें पुलिस का, धन्यवाद करें फायर्स का, जिन्होंने समय पर आकर आगे फ्रंट्स के लोगों की जान बचाई. 20 से 22 लोगों ने उतारा नीचे. अगर ये फायर ब्रिगेड या पुलिस समय पे ना आती तो मैं समझता हूँ कि हादसा और बड़ा हो सकता था.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद बात करने के लिए. So there you heard a local politician speak to us and tell us the brief incidents of the case in terms of how distraught the visuals were for him as well. That when he saw a child was hugging his mother's body very tightly, and at that time both were found dead and the bodies were retrieved later.
Absolutely. The rescue operation is still underway. We are still getting the visuals of the bodies being brought out of that building. 9 people, we are learning, they've lost their lives. Several injured after a huge fire broke out at the 4-story building that you can see on the screen. And this incident has happened in Delhi's Vivek Vihar area early morning around 3:15 is what we are learning. Vivek Vihar is a prime location in East Delhi. Have a look at the visuals on your screen. The fire broke out on the 2nd floor of the building. The incident then, in fact, we're learning so far took place around 3:15, after which 14 of the fire engines, they were rushed to the spot to put out the fire and carry out the rescue operations. More than 10 people were rescued till 6 o'clock in the morning. Let me take you through the statement that is coming from Delhi Police. Just a while back, they confirmed that 9 people have lost their life. Many of the people who were rescued from the flat, the 2nd, the 3rd and the 4th floor, they were taken to the hospital. 10 persons were rescued from the building, out of whom 2 persons have sustained minor injuries. Others have been shifted to Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital for the medical treatment. 12 fire tenders are currently there at the spot. The traffic officials, local police, in fact, now the political leaders have also started coming. The fire was brought under control at around 6 a.m. The bodies are still being brought out, and these are very concerning visuals, very painful visuals that you can see on the screen coming in from the national capital of the families wailing there, not able to find out their family members, because as per the eyewitnesses, several of the family members, several of the people who were there in the building, they are also missing. What was the cause of the fire? Was it because of the AC blast or because of the electrical fault is something that will come out during the investigation. But very, very concerning visuals there on your screen coming in from the national capital. A massive fire that broke out at that prime location, a very posh locality in the national capital, Vivek Vihar area, on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th floor. 25 people were there. 9 have lost their lives. Several have been taken to the hospital. Many of the bodies are still being brought out, and in fact we are learning that several of the bodies are also missing. We'll continue to get you more details on this. With this, we are taking a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.